If a vehicle or any asset depreciates, it loses a portion of its value, usually given as a percentage. Now, assuming that a car is losing 25% of its value each year, why will the car still have a value after 4 years? Because 25 times by 4 years will give you 100%, which basically means the car has lost 100% of its value after 4 years. Why isn't this the case? Shouldn't the car be worth this after 4 years? And then, just to make the question even more interesting, how does this depreciation affect the tax you pay? Because if the car is worth nothing after 4 years, you can't really deduct anything from tax anymore. So let's start with the first question. The car could be worth, let's say, a nice round figure. Let's say it's worth 100,000 Rand. Now, if you want to work out the depreciation, the 25%, you can multiply by 25%, or you can multiply by 25 over 100, or you can even use the formula for compound decay over 1 year. But the best method would be to multiply with 100 minus 25 over 100. So we'll have 100,000 multiplied with 100 minus 25 is 75 over 100, and we will get 75,000 Rand. So in other words, that vehicle has now lost, from there to there, in the first year, the vehicle has lost 25,000 Rands of its value. But when you go for the next year, now you'll take the car's worth at the end of the previous year, which was 75,000 Rand, because that's all the car is now worth, and you will work out 75% of that. So in other words, you'll work out 25% depreciation on a lesser amount, which will then give you a new value of 56,250, which basically then means that the car has now lost, from the first year to the second year, it has now only lost 18,750 Rand of its value. Which basically comes to say that every year there would still be an amount left in terms of value of the car, on which the 25% depreciation can be calculated. So this car will forever have a value. It will never get to a stage where it's worth nothing, because even if there is just value in the scrap metal and the reusable parts of the car, there will always be some kind of an intrinsic value, an implied value of the vehicle, on which a percentage, 25% depreciation, can be calculated. So that's why the car will never have a zero value. And then, just to come to the second part of the question, how does this depreciation affect the tax you pay? Well, in the first year, you would have been able to deduct 25,000 Rands worth of depreciation. In the second year, you'll only be able to deduct 18,000 Rands, 18,750 for depreciation. The year after, you'll be able to deduct even less and even less. So as you carry on, the amount of deduction, of the deduction that you can make in terms of tax, will decrease the longer you keep the car.